Hey there, Chash Heads. I got a jam-packed show for you this week. I kick it in the kitchen with our commissioner. I got a weekly PSA for you. I do a quick review of all of the games, as well as showing you more of your players and what they did this week.
A.J. Dillon in the game, both backs in the game, and here is Dillon carrying. He'll get a couple of yards, Robert.
So with that, let's kick it off in the kitchen with the commissioner. Hello, Chash Heads. For this week's interview, I have none other than our commissioner, Brian Montgomery Reed.
Hey, Chash Heads.
Brian, great to see you.
The juice back ready.
So,
What's the record?
I'm doing one. Already? Okay. That'll come up later in the interview. With that said, we have a whole bunch of questions that have been submitted by our league mates. Things that they want to know, get to know you, figure out what you're all about, and more importantly, what are some of the important things to you. So, to kick off, what is Chash Head, and more importantly, how do you say it?
Chash Heads is a old story way back in the day. We had a buddy that got a little too drunk, and instead of saying trash head, he said Chash Head. The Chash Head.
All right.
That's how you should say it too.
I've been saying it wrong all these years.
Mm.
All right. So most of these questions were submitted anonymously. You'll see why on some of them. But our second question, when will we have a 2-kicker league?
Oh, great question. Let's see. 2-kicker league. I think that's in the works for, let me see my notes, 2046.
Ooh, the 2046 season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, little coup. Little hope. Mini Hoku.
Young kid coup.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. What are some of your draft strategies going into drafts at the beginning of the year? I know that we're second week in, but some people are curious for the uninitiated.
Draft strategies. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I would give away my draft strategies, but I like to draft a quarterback, a couple running backs, some wide receivers, sprinkling a tight end somewhere in there. Usually I like to get a kicker and then maybe even a defense. I mean, that's usually what I stick to. That's basic, simple, yeah.
Okay.
No championships though.
So now that we already have drafted, who was your breakout player of the year?
Rodgers, touchdown, Lazard.
That I've drafted or that I missed out on?
Could be either. I mean, there's still space.
I didn't draft anybody. I missed on basically everybody. I'm already upset that I missed Cooper Kupp. And I was wrong on every single team that I thought was going to be kicking ass this year.
Young, 4th year. Here's a 2nd and 11. The pressure. Burrow looking for somewhere to go, and Micah Parsons.
Fantasy football is hard.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Not as much fantasy focused, but is cereal soup?
Cereal soup. No, because soup cannot be cold.
You don't eat cold soup?
I don't eat cold soup because soup has to be hot.
I eat cold soup, so.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
You eat hot cereal?
Next question. This one's getting a little bit more personal, though. How long have you known Jason and Nate, and how did you meet them?
I've known them for 20 years-ish, 20 plus years. Damn. Known them for a long time. How did we meet? used to be big time strippers. We all were strippers back in the day. And I
Chippendale,
think,
huh?
yeah. Nate and Jason were big time in the stripping scene. I was an up and comer in the stripping scene.
3 a.m.
And they basically showed me the ropes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you can bust out some of your moves. You don't have a pole there in the background or something. You could,
No, we're all retired.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Bad backs and all that.
Yeah. Fat backs. Yeah, whole thing.
Okay. All right. Next question. How do you manage the mental aspects of Sack Buddy's dominance over you in this league?
It eats away at me every time. That's why I've attempted to retire every single season. It's hard. It's rough.
So
it is what it is, though.
The person
Records don't lie.
The person that submitted the question, they did some additional research, and it looks like over the 13 years or so we've had this league, you've placed in the top 3 4 times, but Sack Buddy's placed 8. I mean, is that, do you lose sleep over that, or?
Maybe a little bit. I do remember, we were definitely very dominant. Got to take it easy. I didn't want to over-dominate, so, I didn't want to scare people away from my league. So I let people like you won a lot back in the day.
Back in the day. Yeah, it's I mean, 2018. You have to go back pretty far to get my last first place.
Did you really win 2018?
Yeah, that's what kicked off. Yeah.
Was that the COVID season? Was that the asterisk?
No.
The asterisk season?
Next year, the year after that was the first COVID season.
The holdout season? That when we played with 4 teams?
Nope. I think we played with 16 that year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, all right. I guess, is there anything else that you would like to say to the league, to your league mates?
No. All you guys, especially you.
We'll beep that out. All right. Well, this has been our commissioner, Brian Anyway, thanks so much for jumping on. Appreciate the time, and good luck. Good luck. I'm here with a quick PSA for the Chash Heads. This overlooked aspect of fantasy football is something that we don't typically take advantage of, and that's trades. With us being already about 1/4 of the way through the fantasy football season, we already have owners that have players on their teams that they don't want to look at anymore, and they are willing to trade. So when it comes to trades, I have 2 tips for you. Tip number 1, there are always going to be people that are nervous about the assets that they have, and you can buy distressed assets usually for cents on the dollar. This means that there's a player that's been underperforming. Maybe you should reach out to that owner and see if you guys could come up with a likely trade. Because if they're getting nervous about their player, there's a chance that they'll start to.
So they're sitting there and they panicking, they screaming, sell, sell, because they don't want to lose all their money, right? They out there panicking right now. I can feel it. They out there. They're panicking. Look at them.
Okay, tip number 2, know who you're negotiating with. There are certain players in our league or certain owners in our league that no matter what you do, they will not negotiate and trade unless you do something first. For instance, we have one owner that...
Ask me about my winner!
And that's how you open the door to make trades with
Tiger Joe's Gay Chub.
So, good luck out there. Make some solid trades. Make your teams better. And this has been your PSA. In this first game preview, we have Tiger Joe's Gay Chub going against Nate Donkey. All capital X. And this one was a one-sided affair with Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, and Jalen Waddle leading the charge against Chubb and Burrow. Unfortunately, Burrow has not been living up to expectations this year, and his line is not as improved as everyone would have you believe. Tough start for Tiger Joe's Gay Chubb, but I do believe better weeks are ahead for him. In our next game, we have Just Here for the Circle Jerk going up against mother. This one was the complete opposite of the last one in the sense that the quarterbacks absolutely showed up for both of these teams. One so more than other. Lamar Jackson leading the charge for mother. And let me say, if he didn't have Lamar Jackson, his team would absolutely be struggling. So far, good start for Lamar. Let's hope he can stay healthy. For our next game, we have Mount Kilauea Black Hole going up against Hit and Ruggs. Still might be a little too soon for that one, but we're going to let it go. In what was probably one of the lower scoring affairs, I think both of these teams have better days ahead of them, although it seems like if you don't have a very strong quarterback, then the rest of your team is going to suffer. With that said, the Buccaneers defense absolutely showed up for Hit and Ruggs and dominated this week as his top scorer. For our fourth game, we had quite the shootout in what might end up being the Super Bowl of the league. As seen in week 2, we had Silver and Black Lives Matter going up against B1G Mahomes. With that said, both of them had players that stepped up in a very big way. Christian McCaffrey, as we typically expect, but Tyreek Hill is definitely finding some traction with his new team, being hit on the quick slants as well as a lot of those deep passes. It obviously contributed to some very high scores in our fantasy league this year, with Lamar Jackson being on the opposite side of the Dolphins. Good job, you two. I hopefully won't have to play you too many times in the near future. And finally, for our game of the week, we have yours truly, the Sack Buddy, going up against Sack Daddy. Luckily, he remembered to set his lineup this week, although he did make a questionable decision sitting DeAndre Swift.
Third down at 15. Goff's pass caught by Swift. And Swift will take it all the way for a Lions score.
For Darrell Henderson. With that said, luckily for him, Jalen Hurts absolutely showed up this week and put down a very, very strong score, coupled with Cooper Kupp, who is continuing it from last year and who I didn't personally believe would be able to continue his trend. But he is shaping up to be one of the premier wide receivers of this league, and I'm extremely jealous that I don't have him. With that said, James Conner had a rough week.
Returns it for a touchdown, and the Cardinals win. No flags.
Me out of the game with an injury, in addition to A.J. Dillon not putting down quite as much as he did in the previous week. With that said, Sack Daddy didn't need the help and advances to 2-0 on the season, and who I believe is first, if not second, in the league. With me playing him in week 2, I'll probably have another chance at him later in the season when my team is coming into form.
And that wraps up our week 2 in review. Good luck in week 3, Cash Heads.